Hello everybody, Peter here from the Esoteric Order of Gamers. Today it's an unboxing of something brand new and exciting. It's just been delivered from its Kickstarter campaign. It's by Tabula Games and it is called The Last Spell, the board game. What's this about, I hear you ask? Well, I really like games by Tabula Games. They've done some very cool things like Mysthea, Ikaon, Sons of Faeriel, Ryozen. Got interesting game names, don't they? They've done some great games, and since years and years ago when they first wrote to me and said, do you want to check out Mysthea, the game? And I said, yeah, I'll have a look at that. I really like their games because they're very thematic. They're kind of Euro games, but they have this very thematic feel and they have interesting mechanics. So this one is going to be interesting. It's based on a computer game. Let's open it up and check it out and see what you get. Now, before I get started, let me tell you that they sent me this stuff for free to show to you. That doesn't influence my opinion in any way, and I don't charge for this video. So what is The Last Spell? Well, apparently it's based on a video game. I don't play a lot of video games these days. I've just got a PlayStation and occasionally I'll play one of the sort of big titles, but this is more of an indie game that was on Steam, and it's a tower defense game. It's tactical, it's got sort of management, it's roguelite. It's, is it just me, or is every single game these days roguelite? It seems to be the most overused term ever. Anyway, it's got RPG elements in it as well. And yeah, this is the board game version. So they did a Kickstarter for this recently. It had 3,000 backers and raised a bit over 384,000 euros. And it's just being delivered to backers now. So this is the big core set with stretch goals and things. And then I've got some extra stuff as well I'm going to show you. I don't know a lot about this game yet. I do know it's a tower defense game and it's broken up into a night section and a day section. But let's talk about it as I open this up and show you what you get in the box. So here we go, here's the core box. Now I didn't mention that this is for 1 to 4 players and it's co-op. So open it up. Now you can see that the artwork is this very bitmappy style. So it's very much based on the game itself, and all the artwork is in this sort of retro bitmap style. Which, at first glance I'm not crazy about. I don't have that kind of nostalgia for the bitmappy retro stuff. When I started playing computer games, gather round children, let me tell you about the deep dark days before computer games. When I started playing them, they were on computers like TRS-80s and they consisted basically of some green lines on a black background. That shows how incredibly old I am. So yeah, bitmaps still seem pretty whiz-bang to me. But I remember playing those games like Wizardry, for example, and they were just mind-blowing. And I remember as we played them, we thought, imagine one day in the distant future, there are going to be computer games where they'll look like 3D environments and they'll look real, and you'll actually be like, because we played D&D, Dungeons and Dragons and all that stuff, we imagined playing Dungeons and Dragons in immersive environments. Of course, all that has come to pass. It's incredible, isn't it? In my lifetime. And then you start playing 3D immersive games, virtual reality things, and you just think, wow, the sky is absolutely the limit. Anyway, back to The Last Spell. So what they've done is break it into 2 rule books, the day and the night. So during the day, what you're going to be doing is doing a bit of resource management and stuff. You'll be bolstering your game economy that's in the game. You'll be upgrading the equipment of your heroes, and you'll be fortifying the defenses, because in the night time there's this purple mist and the undead hordes come out of it, and you're going to have to hold off the undead hordes. And what you're trying to do is hold off the bad guys until eventually you've got enough time to let the mages cast the last spell, and this last spell is going to remove all magic from the land and remove the threat of the undead hordes, which were in fact caused by magic and a spell themselves, apparently, in the lore of the game. So, 2 different sort of parts to the game there. Let's have a look inside. We've got a little thank you for your support thing, which is always nice. And we've got some boards. Now, there's a configurable board that can be put in different, combinations. As I said, bitmappy art, so you kind of feel like you're playing an old school bitmap game. You can see it there. It's just got that style, flat colours and things like that. cool. There's a little save your game pad here. Now apparently you can play one-off games or you can play little campaigns as well. I think there's a short campaign where you can string a few games together. So that is obviously used for saving those games. We've got rules for a boss rush mode. Don't know how that works. And these look like some reference sheets, day and night. There we go, there's a few of those. 4 because it's a 1-4 player game. Then we've got some cardboard, and there you go. These are obviously defences because you can build your defences. All the nasty undead things that are coming for you, of course, all have different special abilities and work in different ways. So you want to have the appropriate defences to fight against them. You can build buildings as well. There you go, magic shop, gold mine, armour maker. So they obviously, change the economy of the game. Sounds interesting. Bit of terrain. We've got some trees there, stumps, fire, things like that. This looks like some characters here. Once again, very bitmappy style. And some stats, little houses and things. There you go. And then we've got this big tray of miniatures. Look at that. Wow. Very nice. Now, I believe the basic version of this game just had little cardboard standees, but I think these miniatures are definitely going to improve the experience quite a lot. I'll show you some of those in detail later, but just as a quick sneak peek, they're kind of like, yeah, I like the style. They're sort of small and computer gamery, cute but also threatening at the same time. There you go, and there's some characters there too. I'll show you those in detail in a moment. We've got some boxes here. These must be for storing your heroes and their special stuff. Some more cardboard. This looks like it's a long piece. There you go. This looks like some kind of resource sheet. It's single-sided. So, good old potions and all classic fantasy staples like that. Some more storage boxes. Now, I don't know what these are. These are some strange pieces. This must be the purple mist that the bad guys come out of. So this is probably for storing them before they start overtaking it. Look, there's a long piece like that. And then here they are. These are the different things. Clawers, runners, archers, armoured, winged, boomer, accursed. Huh. Oh no, there's more. Bulky. 3 different types of bulky. There you go. So the purple mist, the dreaded purple mist. Then we've got some kind of tray. Now, I did notice that there is instructions for storing all this in this insert on the Tabula website. So if you're confused, if you've got this game and you're wondering how does this all go back together, you can find instructions on the website. Got some big chunky dice here. Well, these very much go with the style of the game, don't they? Look at that. They are cute. I like those. Colour icons on dice. Who would have thought? The technology, it's amazing. We've got a bunch of cards here. Big deck of small cards. And I did read up a bit about the lore of this game, and the 2 gods in this world are called Schaden and Freud, which I thought was kind of, cute, Schadenfreude. So, it's light-hearted. So, lots of little cards. Bit mappy art. Oh, it's hard to keep them all in my hand. I like priest armour. We're going to have all kinds of different bits of equipment. I'm sure. Worn out pants to take 1 less damage. Well, there you go. These are, they really are little bitmap illustrations, aren't they? But then again, that's in keeping with the style of the game. Oh, a putrefied dryad. Yeah. Lacerate. Huh. Inertia. These look like spells of some sort, perhaps. Mana spike. Good old mana. That concept is used in a lot of things, isn't it? Smart shot, potion throw, teleport. Yeah, scrolls. Yep, they've really gone 100% into that bitmap style. Then we've got some larger cards here. These look like configurations for monsters coming out of the purple mist, don't they? That's possibly what those are. And tidal assault, tidal entrance. Okay. We've got a nice looking marker here. Oh, don't know what that does. And then we've got some normal sized cards. There we go. Looks like all various types of equipment again. Let's see. Epic sword. Wow. Slice, quick cuts, blade rush. There's even different forms of attack for each type of weapon. Battle mage, sword again. Heaps and heaps of different icons. Wand, hammer, short bow. Wow. So there's a lot to it, you know, lots going on. Interesting. Okay, that's that section. Then we've got a final bit down here, some more purple pieces and some miniature bases. They must be for your heroes. Some classic red and blue gems and some other wooden counters as well. Right, let's look at some of these miniatures, shall we? Now we have some hero miniatures here, which are chunky little guys. Look at that. And what I like to see here is a bit of character, you know, something a little bit different. They've got an interesting scale. It's kind of a squashed kind of scale, which I kind of like. Something a bit different. You know, it's not sort of natural proportions, but it's slightly cartoony. I think it goes quite well with the style of the game, really. That is cool. We've got an archer figure here. Very dynamic pose. These are going to be fun to paint, actually, I think. And she has got a big hammer. Look at that. It's like a Fred Flintstone hammer there. That needs a little bit of hot water treatment just to straighten that out. But that's a nice figure too. That's that. And then there's a whole bunch of these little greebly monsters. And I really like the style of these. They're like horrible greeblies, really. And they're not too big, so they're not going to dominate the board, I think. I like this kind of scale, especially when it's hordes and it's tower defense. I think it makes sense to make them a bit smaller. But they're kind of scary looking too. They're sort of undead. This guy here has got a huge sword through his back. I think they're walking the fine line between cartoon and horror really nicely, actually. There's an undead archer figure. There's a lot to paint. I've got to say I'm going to have to do a quick sort of contrast paint job on these because otherwise it will take me forever. But I think I can paint them relatively quickly. Oh, we've got a little sort of imp-like creature. Little demon. What else have we got here? I think this is the bulky, horrible looking thing. It sort of reminds me of Nurgle from Warhammer, but ew, horrible. This is some kind of strange mixture between harpy and gremlin. This is another harpy-like creature but a lot larger. These are very nice. This is clever. It's sort of broken into two pieces here. Tail and a front piece. That's very nice. There's a real interesting kind of European feel to this as well. It's not sort of classic fantasy. It's sort of, you know, got that sort of more weird folk tale European feel. So that's it with styles, but, you know, there's a lot of them there. Check all those out because this is, you know, Horde Tower Defense. So, nice miniatures, really like it. All in one tray, very, very cool. Nice. Well, there you go. That's all the stuff that you get in the core set. Of course, I am going to be doing a rules and reference for this, as I always do. It will appear on my website in PDF form, and it'll also be in Tabletop Codex, my fantastic rules app. If you haven't checked out Tabletop Codex yet, please do. Just search for it on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. It works on phones and tablets, and it's incredibly useful. I use it myself all the time. It's so easy to not only read rules before a game, but check things during a game and find out information. Really, I mean, everyone's been going on about rules and how difficult they are to learn. I think Tabletop Codex goes a long way to solving all the problems that you can have with learning rules for games. So do check it out. That's that stuff. I've got a few little expansions here as well. Let's check those out. So, well, what have we got here? Now, I believe that this one here, Sinister Shadows, was a freebie that came with the Kickstarter campaign, and it's a expansion of miniatures. There are more miniatures in here. So there's some more of those kind of reference sheets or whatever they do. And then we've got two nice little trays of extra minis. So whatever this weird looking thing is, look at that. Some kind of serpent-like creature. Got 4 of those, and then we've got 2 of these things which have blades for hands. And, oh no, there's 4 of those as well, and then we've got 4 of these spear-wielding things. They've got tentacles for faces, which is pretty horrible. Got a lot of character, these. They're really simple, but they have character. And, oh look, a couple of fat frogs. Very cute. And we've got some extra cards for those. So that's what they're called: Hopper, Lancer, Ripper, and Twisted. So that adds a bit of variety to the monster selection. That's pretty cool. Then we've got this one called The Twins, and this one, brace for the epic confrontation with the twins. Oh, Freuda and Shaden. So this is Shaden and Freuda, which are the gods, basically. So, they're goddesses. They transform the game, escalating through intense phases, deepening the strategic challenge. There you go. So you can actually include the gods in this particular background. There's a little rules document there. Blah, blah, blah. Some more little cards. There's Shaden, there's Freuda. Cool. This obviously brings them into the game somehow. A tiny little counter sheet. Oh, a new die. We've got a big purple die. That's nice. And then here are the twins themselves. Look at that. They're actually nice miniatures, aren't they? Very cool. It's like something out of a Guillermo del Toro film, isn't it? That one, yeah. They're really nice. And in scale with the other ones, they're pretty big. Very nice. That looks very interesting. Then we've got Whispers of War, another little expansion. This one, elevate your strategy, utilize damage, stun, and slow traps to control the battlefield. Because this is a tower defense game, so you have to build defenses and everything during the day period of the game. Choose omens for unique game starts, balancing early bonuses against later challenges, tactical depth and customizable difficulty, etc. So that just has some components, extra cards and some cardboard components, rules sheet, etc. So that adds some more to it. And finally we have the Carnage Unleashed expansion. This one, elevate your adventure. With this expansion, it boosts the challenge with elite monster cards and their unique auras, adding strategic depth, new tactical scenarios, and manage the battlefield's corpse piles. Dear oh dear. That's probably why it's called Carnage Unleashed. Looks like we've got some bases there. That may be for elites, some rules, extra cards, and counters. Just before I go, I wanted to show you how it all looks when it's all packed in. If you follow the instructions on the website, it guides you through this process of putting everything in a particular order, like so. And here we go, this insert has all that stuff in it. These are the different characters and their boxes, and then under that all the pieces go in like so. And you can see that there are spaces for keeping these things on bases, so you know, not desperately necessary, but you can put it together like that, and then there's a slot for it. So quite complex, a place for everything, and you probably want to take a photo of this before you start taking things out so you can quickly put it all back in again. But there's certainly a place for every component. Not, however, for the extra components, which is slightly frustrating. I have to store those in their separate little boxes. There you go, the last spell. Some interesting looking stuff. I'm actually really looking forward to playing this. I've got a bit of work to do because, as I said, it's 2 rule books for the day and the night, so I've got to summarise the whole thing, which will take a little while. And then I'm going to get this on the table and tell you what it's like, and eventually I'll do a review video as well. So the last spell by Tabula Games, and as I said, they do some very cool stuff. There's another company called Ishtar Games involved here as well, I can see down there. I really like their games because they're involved and crunchy and thematic, but they've got Euro elements as well. They're just a really interesting mixture of genres, and I just think they've got a distinctive style to themselves. So that's it. The Kickstarter is gone now, of course, but usually their games tend to go to retail, so I'm sure we'll see this one on retail as well. And I hope you've enjoyed this look at it. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe and hit all notifications and all that stuff. Check out my social media. Check out my website where all my stuff lives. And I'll see you next time. Good gaming, everybody. Bye for now.